Hi, everyone. I'm Jamie Vaughn with How She Got There, a Next In podcast. And today, my guest is Ashley Connell, who is the CEO and founder of Prowess Project, which is an absolutely amazing program that I can't wait to share with you. Hi, Ashley. How are you?
Oh, I am great. So pumped to be on here. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, well, I'm so glad that you took time out of your schedule to talk to us today. When I was reading about your program, blown away by it, and I was like, "Got to get her on here. We have to talk about this. We have to talk about how to get more women back in the workforce." But first, I always ask everyone these two questions: Where did you grow up, and what did you think you were going to be when you grew up?
Oh, this is such a good question.
Mhm.
So, kind of grew up all over the place, was born
Okay.
in Louisiana, then moved to Atlanta, Georgia, then Charlotte, North Carolina, then Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
So, kind of all over Southeast.
Mhm.
But what I wanted to be when I grow up, still in the process there.
We
When I
all are.
grew up, was I wanted to be a rock star.
Understand.
And yes, I wanted to be on stage in front of all these people singing, and then realized I cannot carry a tune to save my life. So here we are.
I understand. So tell me about your educational background.
Sure. So like I said, grew up mainly in Dallas and then went to University of Texas at Austin for
Okay.
undergrad. One of the best 4 years of my life. Learned so much, met so many great people, and then was off to the races working after that.
Mhm. So, did you go into technology or I mean, looking at your LinkedIn, it looked like a lot of marketing positions.
Yep, yep, yep. So, got a degree in public relations, realized that wasn't quite for me. And I actually really liked the business aspect of marketing. And,
Okay.
s- and so it was an easy transition for me to go from PR to marketing. Started with a tech company in Austin. It was a startup at the time. 4 years into that startup, and they moved me over to London to open up their European office.
Nice.
Yes. So I was over there. Now, those 2 years were the best experience of my life. I would not give that up for the entire world. Loved it, loved it, loved it.
Okay, so that's really cool. So let's talk career journey after that. So,
Sure.
how did you get from London to coming up with the idea of creating the Prowess Project?
Yes. So, one of the main reasons why they sent me over to London is because I was always the guinea pig. They just gave me projects, and it was my job to figure out were they going to sink or swim, and then I would hand
Mhm.
them over to someone to maintain and make better and all of those things. So that's just always been in my blood. So when I came back to the US, I bounced around to a couple other tech companies, and I was like, ugh, I was like itching for something, something to
Mhm.
start. So started a marketing agency with two other people, made all the mistakes in the book, like entrepreneurship 101, literally every single mistake, but learned
Mhm.
so much. um, from there, we kind of the writing was on the wall that hey, this business is going to go down, and I took, or it's not go down but fizzling out.
Yes.
And I took a step back, and I was looking at like, what do I want to go do? Like, what is it that I really care about? What is it that I want to really make my mark? And I saw this horrific Harvard Business Review statistic that um, 43% of women leave the workforce to raise their children.
Mhm.
And when they're out for just 3 years, they lose a total of 37% of their total compensation power forever. So this could be
Oh my gosh.
millions and millions of dollars for women who are taking just 3 years out. And these are educated, experienced women. And from there, I had a bee in my bonnet, and Prowess Project was born.
So tell me about Prowess Project.
Sure. So, like I said, I wanted to help solve this problem where women could have a robust, powerful, impactful career and
Mhm.
also time for their family.
Mhm.
And so, went out and spoke to hundreds of women who are in that scenario and heard the same thing over and over again. Ashley, have 3 degrees, no joke, 15 years of experience. I've been out for 2 years and now I can only get a free unpaid internship.
Mhm.
And I was like, what? How? And so I teamed up with my COO, who's just fantastic, and we built Prowess Project. What Prowess is an online platform where we take women from home to hire. They come on our platform. We do upskilling, help them network, and as they're interacting with our site, we're gathering hundreds of data points on them, their
Mhm.
skills, their expertise, their communication style, teamwork, emotional intelligence, take all of that data and use it to match them with prospective employers. So employers come to us, we
Okay.
do a quick call. Hey, what are you looking for from a role perspective? Do a deep dive on their culture. And within about a week or so, we send them the top 3 candidates, each with a compatibility score. So then the employer can say, hey, I want to speak to Susie, and they're interviewing and matched and hired.
So how do you go about getting certain accounts? Like, are you like, we're also a recruiting agency
Yeah.
here at Next Level, but we mainly focus on technology and gaming. Are
Yep.
you all over the board, or, is it, do you approach, I guess what I'm saying, do you approach it by what the candidate is needing or what a client that you went out and found is needing?
Such a good question. And back to what I've learned along the way,
Hmm.
with Prowess, we expanded too quickly, quite frankly.
Okay.
And we started taking such a variety of expertise on the talent side, and we're speaking to so many different employers
Hmm.
that we were trying to be everything to everyone. And that means you're nothing to nobody.
Right.
So
Right.
we yeah, so we took a step back and we looked at our talent pool because they're the lifeblood, right? They're these amazing, amazing women who will and are changing the world. Looked at their background and like, interesting. Yes, they have all this experience. Yes, they have all of this education. The difference is their background is more like a patchwork quilt rather
Hmm.
than a linear line going from accounting coordinator to manager to specialist,
Right.
right? So, what kind of roles can we help them set themselves up for success based on this patchwork, this wealth of knowledge that may not be 15 years deep, but it's so broad that these people are so valuable.
Right.
And what we realized is there's this idea of an online business manager, and who they serve are typically high ticket consultants or coaches or subject matter experts who have deep, deep knowledge, and their zone of genius or their passion or what have you is sharing that knowledge, talking to people, doing their craft, but they don't necessarily want to run the business aspect of it.
Mhm.
And so that's where our online business managers come in, or our OBMs come in, is they have this knowledge of how to run a business. They have all of this varied expertise. And so we upskill them, particularly in tech, operations, growth, and demand gen, and pair them up with these consultants.
Okay, so when you say upscale, what do you mean by that for the viewer that's
Upskilling.
yes.
So because these women have been out of the workforce typically from anywhere between 6 months to 5 years,
Mhm.
there has been so much tech or lingo or um, industry changes that they need to get up to speed on.
Right.
And so we take them through a 40-hour certification where
Okay.
we are teaching them or really refreshing them on business basics, demand gen, the latest technology, teamwork, team communications, a lot of the lingo. And then from all of that, they take an assessment, we put their stamp of approval, and then start matching them.
Okay, so if I'm a candidate coming out of finally getting my kids into school
Yep.
or taking care of a parent,
Mhm.
and I'm ready to
Yep.
get back into the workforce, what would the process be for me?
Good question. And I want to pause there for a second. We
Okay.
started with women who were just returning to not just, who were returning to the workforce. Um, and what we also saw was a lot of women who wanted to pivot or wanted a remote role were starting to come to us too. So it's
Okay.
not just women with gaps. It's
Okay.
really if you want to take charge of your time, your location, your role, your impact, your
Mhm.
value, that's when you come to us.
Okay.
But to answer your question, the way that that works is, hey, I'm Jamie. I want to become an OBM. You come on to Prowess Project. You have two different options. You can go through our certification, like I was describing, the upskilling,
Mhm.
or you could join our platform, and that is the free option. So you create your own profile and you're in our job pool.
Okay.
Or the certification is almost like a our stamp of approval, saying, "Hey, yes, Jamie can do all the things that she says she can do."
Okay.
Either way, you can still get matched up with jobs.
Okay. So to take the certification, is there a cost on that?
Yes, there is a cost.
Okay. So I would just come to you and then I would pick which kind of track I wanted to take with you. Is that what I'm understanding?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's kind of awesome. So if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, how would they do that? Or how would they get in touch with Prowess Project?
Sure. Yeah. Prowessproject.com. That's probably the easiest way. Or we are at Prowess Project on all social channels, or I'm Ashley Connell at, on LinkedIn. So happy to chat with people on there as well.
Oh, that's really great. So I would love to get career advice or lessons learned that you'd like to pass on to our listeners.
Oh gosh. Lessons learned would just be just get started.
Mhm.
I think people can be so worried about the what if, like, or what if someone doesn't like what I'm doing, or what if it's not good enough, or what if it takes me too long, or what if I fail? Who cares?
Mhm.
At the end of the day, if you want work to not feel like work, you have to do something that you care about, and you have to do something that is aligned with what your quote unquote zone of genius is, where your passion meets your innate talent. Find
Mhm.
that. Find that. And you can fail along the way, but again, it won't feel like failing. It will feel like learning, and you will fail, quote unquote, forward, and it will be well worth it.
That's great. So what what do we need to do to inspire women to actually get back into the workforce? I know that it's absolutely overwhelming. I had a stint where I was actually laid off. It took 11 months to find a job.
Yeah.
But in that time, I was taking care of my father, who was in the process of
Yep.
passing away from cancer. And then trying to jump back into the workforce for me was really hard. But I didn't have a choice because I'm the only income in the household. So, it needing to do that. But how do we get those women to, take that chance on themselves?
So I think that you can't be what you can't see. I
Mhm,
think we need more women like yourselves sharing that story, and look at you now.
mhm,
I think that we need more type of companies and programs like Prowess Project. I think that we need to be more open with the struggles, but then also highlight women's successes more.
mhm.
One thing that I love seeing in the workforce over and over again is this idea that emotional intelligence and empathy is starting to be recognized and
Yes.
celebrated.
Mhm.
And based on the data, women are 89% more likely to show empathy on a regular basis than
Mhm.
our male counterparts. Now,
Right.
that's of course there's exception, and that's not always, but that's what the data shows.
And that's
So
more of us in life too. I think
yes,
yeah.
yes, we're
And it
trained, we're
right.
programmed that way, right?
Yes.
Um, So I'm excited to see that, and I think that that will really give women the upper hand, especially if we can be tying more of those traits, that empathy, to success metrics and reasons to get promoted, and
Mhm.
reasons to climb that corporate ladder. And I definitely think that that's possible.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so as we wrap this up, I wanna know what inspires you.
Talking to the women that we are helping all day, every day. I mean, in hearing the stories, I probably get 2 or 3 emails a day just sharing their stories,
Uh-huh.
and how much what we're doing is helping them, and how they didn't think it would be possible to get back in. I mean, these are women who, similar to yourself, have a caring for a parent, or went through a
Mhm.
terrible divorce, and now find themselves being needing to be the sole provider and have potentially children.
Mhm.
And just hearing their story from, hey, this is where I was, to this is the work I did with your help, and this is where I am now, and I couldn't have done it without Prowess Project and the amazing community of women that we have together, is just the reason why we get out of bed every day. I mean, it's priceless.
Well, I am so excited about this project and what you're
Thank
doing.
you. Thank you.
Fill
Thank
that
you.
hole. You're very welcome. You're filling a hole that I think has been out there for a while, and people haven't known how to do that. So as somebody who has been in that place, I very much appreciate what you're doing for women out there trying to get back in the workforce, and I cannot wait to see what happens next.
Oh, sister, there's a lot. You just buckle up.
I can't wait.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Just